Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Ryan Wilson, and I'm the Executive Director of the Arizona State Chapter of Normal. And with us today, we've got Mike Robinette, who's on the board of Arizona Normal, as well as the Director of Southern Arizona Normal. And we've got John Udell, who's our Communications Director, and Julie Gunnigal, who is our Director of Politics and Civic Engagement. And we've got a nice special topic to speak with you about here this morning. I'm going to turn it on over to Mike.
Well, thank you, Ryan. Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, John. Good morning, Julie. And of course, greetings from Cattown, Arizona. It's a fine morning to talk about Lobby Week. But before we're going to come back and talk about the generic details relative to Lobby Week. But right now, as we promoted, and I know you're all tuned in, sitting on the edge of your seat, waiting to hear, what is that bad bill you referred to in your promotion of this StreamYard live stream relative to Virtual Lobby Week? Well, that bad bill involves DUI, and I'm going to let Julie talk about that bill, and then John's going to have some conversation related to it as well, and then we're going to come back and talk about Lobby Week and all things related to it. So, Julie, without further ado, HB 2084.
Yeah, let's talk about HB 2084. I mean, Lobby Week is going to be fantastic this year. And, some of it is spending our political capital fighting for good legislation. But sometimes it's fighting bad bills. And HB 2084 is one of those bad bills. It is a bill that would create a presumption for DUI if someone has a blood concentration of 2 nanograms per milliliter of THC. And it's something that we need to fight, and that we're uniquely equipped as Arizona Normal to do that. On Lobby Week, what we do is we go in and we crush stereotypes. For better or worse, our legislators sometimes have some bad opinions about what cannabis is, what people who use marijuana do, and the dangerousness of this substance. And it's epitomized this year in this bill that creates an unscientific standard for what DUI means. It has the potential to criminalize patients and rec users who have abstained from cannabis use for days, if not even weeks. And it's a bill where we really have an opportunity to educate those in the legislature about what responsible use looks like, and to break those stereotypes. Because listening to some of the rhetoric around this bill, you would think that these districts who have gone towards rec use, their streets run red with the blood of the dead and DUIs, and that's just absolutely not the case. So I'm going to toss it on over to John to talk about a little bit about the science and what this has to do with Prop 207, because at the end of the day, this law might not just be terrible, terrible policy. It might be in direct violation of the Voter Protection Act.
Yes, thank you, Julie. Thank you to all of our listeners at home. I'm happy to be here talking about this DUI bill today, which is really a train wreck. It's bad for 3 reasons. First of all, it effectively bars cannabis consumers from lawfully driving vehicles at any time, regardless of whether they're impaired. So, according to a 2020 study in the Journal of Drug and Alcohol Dependence, the limit that we're talking about in this bill of 2 nanograms per milliliter will sweep up people that are regular consumers, even if they've consumed days ago. So that, of course, is just awful for many reasons. It'll prevent medical patients, rec consumers from consuming cannabis and driving a vehicle at basically any time at all. Number 2, there's 3 indicators of traffic accidents. The first of those is the speed you're driving your car at. The second is your lateral control, and the third is your ability to hit the brakes quickly. And there's multiple studies showing that low levels of cannabis intoxication have minimal effects on all 3 of these indicators. It's a 2020 study in the Journal of Concurrent Disorders, a 2019 study in the Journal of Drug and Alcohol Dependence. So there's no evidence that's been put forth so far showing that low levels of intoxication contribute to traffic accidents. It also sweeps up people that aren't even intoxicated whatsoever and prohibits them from driving a vehicle. That's, of course, unfair to them. It's also really bad for the economy as a whole, because there's large numbers of Arizonans and Americans that consume cannabis. And if they were all just going to follow the law and not put themselves at risk of prosecution, they wouldn't be able to drive their vehicles. And that would be awful for not just them, but for the economy. So those are some policy reasons why this bill is bad. The bill also violates Prop 207. So if you caught our live streams during the election cycle, you might have heard us talking about the Voter Protection Act provision, which is the final section of Prop 207 that sets forth certain things the legislature can do to further the intent of the act. And one of those things is to establish a per se limit. But if and only if there is conclusive scientific evidence establishing the specific amount of impairment necessary. And number two, that limit needs to be not only scientifically conclusive, but also specifically recommended by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Needless to say, based on the studies we just ran through here, there is no scientific consensus on the level of impairment that should bar people from driving their cars. And number two, the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration has not established in any means that what a limit should be. To my knowledge, their most recent pronouncement on this subject didn't even conclusively establish that cannabis impairment is a significant contributor to car accidents. So this is unlawful, and that's not a reason to just sit on your hands and not do anything, though. I mean, I think this would face a really significant uphill battle in court, but we don't want to see that happen. It will put people at risk. There will be people that are still being prosecuted. They'll need to pay legal fees. And not only will they need to pay legal fees, we'll need to pay the legal fees of the state that's going to be going in and making these frivolous arguments. So that's a waste of our taxpayer dollars. And if this did get through, it would be, of course, awful for many reasons. So these are some of the reasons why we stridently oppose this legislation. We'll be bringing all of it to our legislators' attention next week. So with that, I'll throw it back to Mike to talk a little bit more about Lobby Week.
Well, I appreciate that, John and Julie. And I'll tell you what, if you just listen to what John and Julie said, if your blood is not at a temperature beyond 212 degrees Fahrenheit, although that's where water boils, but maybe your blood's boiling as well, I would like to say that my blood boils with this, because what John and Julie are talking about is the fact that, you know, medical marijuana has been legal in Arizona for 10 years. We just legalized adult use. And the bottom line is, we now have rights as consumers to consume legally at 21 years old, to responsibly consume marijuana. Yet we're still getting pushback, in essence, to diminish or take away those rights. So it's something that I have a real hard time with, relative to a law that we pass as a citizen initiative, Prop 207, to allow us to consume marijuana as adult use. Yet we have legislators who are trying to push back and, in essence, preclude our ability to legally have that right to consume without having something negative or deleterious happen to us via a DUI. So if that torques your very core, if that hits you viscerally, then Lobby Week is for you. Because Lobby Week, we're going to be discussing this bill, HB 2084, brought to us by Representative Kavanaugh. In fact, we have a meeting with Representative Kavanaugh during Lobby Week, and I'm sure that will be a topic in that meeting. So what I want to do is just remind you, that is why Lobby Week is so important. There are always bad bills in our legislature relative to what we advocate. And we simply cannot allow those bills to get traction and to see the light of day, because they affect us as consumers. And so we urge you, we beg you, we implore you, join us to discuss HB 2084 and the horrors that it will inflict on the cannabis community. And that's the purpose of Lobby Week, to get us in there, to talk with legislators, to say, we oppose this bill, but not just we oppose this bill because we're oppositional. We oppose it for legitimate reasons, relative to equal rights, relative to the rights of cannabis consumers, and relative to arbitrary limits being set without any scientific data to back them up. That is the stuff that we need to talk about and let legislators know that we're watching and we're aware, and we're going to fight for our rights as cannabis consumers. And with that, anyone else have anything else to add? We'll see you all at Lobby Week. Oh, as always, Ryan, if you want to join us, Ryan's going to put up the email to contact us, and we'll get you hooked up.
Actually, it's a link, Mike. It's just
a link now
to go over to the arizonanormal.org/volunteer page on the website. And, just definitely show your support. If you'd like to be involved, this is a great opportunity to do so. So we welcome and we appreciate anyone who's got the drive and determination and willingness to jump in and really fight for, one of the things that they believe in. So welcome.
Absolutely. And we'll train you. We'll prompt you. We'll have some cue sheets for you. we'll be in the meeting with you. So again, you're not left alone. We will train you. We'll have you ready to go and inspired to speak to your legislators. It's
Well,
going to be a
Mike,
great.
I've got a question for you then, because we're doing a call for volunteers. I am wondering if there is any like distinct part of Arizona where we particularly might need volunteers for some of these meetings, where constituents would be particularly powerful. Can you think of any right now? Is it in our county? Is it in our giant closer to Phoenix? Like where are we?
Actually, we can certainly use people through the entire Maricopa County area, because that's where, as you know, it says, as some people say, the kingdom of Maricopa. The bottom line is there are a lot of legislative districts and there are a lot of meetings that we can fill with constituents. So definitely the Maricopa County area. We have, believe it or not, down here in Southern Arizona, normal legislative districts 2, 3, 9, and 10. Every representative in those districts is supportive of what we do. But I can't say that for Maricopa County. So Maricopa County really is the crown jewel relative to our efforts. So anyone, if you're in Maricopa County, get in touch with us, tell us your legislative district, and we will work with you to get you in to speak with your representatives.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. Here's my email address too, if anyone needs to reach out, and I'm going to flash up Julie's email address. Julie, what should people reach out to you for?
Oh gosh, you have any questions, do not hesitate. I am on my email 24/7. So reach out. I mean, if you have any questions about what it's like to talk to a legislator, first of all, I know that there's probably some fear with folks like being able to talk to their lawmakers. And I want to dispel all of that. Like, these are some of the most fun, most interesting conversations. And while I work with the funnest, is that even a word? Funnest, most intelligent, most hardworking board around. Like, this group of people can't get everything done entirely on their own. And that's why we need you. We need your personal stories. She doesn't have a personal story. Forgive the interruption.
She's developing one.
There we go. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi.
But yeah, for the 4.4 million Maricopa County residents that have the potential to reach out on Lobby Week and be supportive of Normal's agenda, we need you. So reach out of that volunteer link or send an email.
Thank you so much, Julie. And I'm good. Thank you all for tuning in here this morning. We're going to keep it nice and short. If there's any questions, feel free to comment or post, right along with this post on our Facebook page. You'll see the video there, be able to watch it, do some follow-up if you like. Other than that, thank you all, and we'll see you tomorrow. We've got some more live streams in store for you. Look for them in the mornings, and we'll see you all then. Thank you all.